Hello for everyone. Today we will discuss the paper related to chemistry that were in Thursday 9 January 2020. Unit 4CH1 Science Double Award 4SD0 Paper 1CR. Okay, let's start. Firstly, I should remember you that you should subscribe for my YouTube channel. It doesn't take too much time. That's why please subscribe. Okay, start. The first question is about the atomic structure. The diagram shows the particles in an atom of an element. Okay, particle Y is a proton. What is a particle Z? We know that there have two types of particles in the nucleus of the atom, and if particle Y is proton, then other one should be neutron. That's why our answer will be neutron. Okay, the next question: which of these has the smallest mass? We know that the proton mass is equals to 1, neutron mass is also equals to 1, and the mass of the electron is equals to 1 out of 1836. It means that electron have the smallest mass. Okay, the next question: what is the mass number of this atom? We can find the mass number by adding proton number to the neutron number. We should count the neutron and the proton in the nucleus of this atom. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It means that the mass number of this atom is equals to 9. What is the atomic number of this atom? Atomic number is equal to proton number. Before we said that the proton number of this atom is decrease particle Y, and particle Y is the blank one, the blank circle. That's why there are 4 protons in this nucleus. The answer will be 4. Identify the element that contains this atom. We know that for finding the atom, we should use the periodic table. For finding this atom, we will see the proton number that never will change. The proton number is equal to 4, and we will go to the periodic table. In periodic table, there is proton number with 4 is beryllium. This 9 is mass number. Okay, and according to the periodic table, the atom with 4 protons is beryllium. And the correct answer is beryllium. Say what is formed when this atom loses its outer shell electrons. Okay, if the atom loses its outer shell electrons, the number of electrons will be less than the number of protons. If the number of protons is much more than number of electrons, the charge will be positive. It means that positive ion forms. Okay, if the atom take an electron from other atom, it will produce negative ion, while if it gives electron to other atom, it will have less electrons than before, and protons number will be more. That's why it forms positive ion. Okay, complete the diagram to show how particles are arranged in liquid state. There is solid, the fixed shape. The gas is not fixed shape. Okay. In liquid, particles should be close together and should fill from the bottom of the box. Some particles should touch. Okay. The distance shouldn't be far from each other because it is denser from gas. That's why. That's the biggest reason. Okay, the next question. Identify the state of matter which the particles have the most energy. The gas particles can move in Brownian motion, can go everywhere. That's why the answer will be gas. The B1. State the symbols and are often used in chemistry. The table shows some physical changes. Complete the table by giving the state symbol before and after each change. Okay. Water evaporates. We know that water is in liquid form in room temperature. If it boils, it will turn into gas form. That's why first we put L. L is the sign of the liquid, and G is the sign of gas. And crystals of iodine sublime. Sublimation means that being gas from solid, like an being gas from solid without being liquid. That's why before change it was solid, and after change it is gas. Ice melts. We know that ice is solid. That's why we will put S sign, and after melting it will be liquid. Melting means that being liquid from solid. Turning of solid into liquid is melting. If it's boiling means that turning gas from liquid. And the C part. Explain why hot water evaporates more quickly than cold water. And the first reason will be the hot water particles have more energy than cold water particles. And the reason is in high temperature the particles moves faster. And the second one is and we can write for the second reason to overcome between water molecules. It spreads the energy between the particles will be great, will be higher. That's why it overcomes faster. And the next one, the third question. The group of 7 elements are called halogens. Halogens form compounds called halides. 3 of the halogens are represented by the formula X2, Y2, and Z2. Solutions of these halogens are added separately to solutions of sodium halides. Sodium sign is Na, NaX, NaY, and NaZ. And this table shows whether or not a reaction occurs. Okay, use the information in the table to deduce the order of reactivity of the halogens X2, Y2, and Z2. Okay, if we will see that the NaX, like an X2, didn't react with anything. Y2 is reacted with NaX, NaY, and NaZ, and the Z2 reacted with NaX, NaY, and not with NaZ. Means that Z2 is the most reactive because it reacts with the most halides, most sodium halides, and Y2 is in the middle because it reacts only with one sodium halide, and X2 is least reactive because it didn't react with anything. I think I said Y2 reacted with 3 of them, but it was my mistake, sorry for that. And the next one is an aqueous solution of halogen Y2 is orange. Okay, this solution is the colorized when it reacts with an alkene. That is the identified of halogen Y2. Okay, there is a saying that alkene is type of organic material, or it's a group that have double bonds between carbon atoms. Okay, and alkenes are made of carbon and hydrogen atoms only. When alkenes react with bromine solution, the bromine breaks down the double bonds between the carbon atoms, and then the solution changes its color from orange to colorless. And by using this information, we can easily know that this halogen is bromine. Okay. The table shows some physical properties of the halogens. Complete the table by predicting a boiling point of fluorine, the state of fluorine at room temperature, and the color of astatine. Okay, we know that the fluorine is the top of the halogen group, means that it is gas in the room temperature, at the room temperature. And chlorine comes after fluorine and before bromine, means that it should have boiling point between fluorine and bromine. That's why we can put a variable between minus 188 and plus 59. We can randomly put the boiling point. Okay, I will write minus 120. And astatine is located at the lowest part of the halogens, and it means that it have also dark color, and we can write that dark gray or black because it have the highest mass, it have highest boiling point, and it is solid form at the room temperature. That's why its color also the darkest. Its color should be also darkest one. And the next one, why do the halogens have similar chemical properties? Okay. We can separate the atom into groups by counting their outermost electrons, and they have written in the IGCSE book that there are same number of outer shell electrons in all halogen atoms, and they have answer the C1. They have the same number of outer shell electrons. For proving that the C is correct, we can easily discuss with A, B, and D. They are non-metals. This is incorrect because there have other group of atoms or elements that are non-metals. This answer is incorrect. And there are molecules. It's also incorrect because there are also other group 6, group 7 particle elements are also can be molecules. And the D one is they are in the same period of the periodic table. We know that this part like 1, 2, 3 are period. This one is period, and this one 1, 2, 3 is group. Okay, it means that the halogens located in the 7 group means that they have same group but different periods. And in the D section it's written that they are located in same period of the periodic table, and it's totally incorrect. That's why the C1 is the most correct answer. And the D1. A teacher used this apparatus to demonstrate the reaction between chlorine gas and iron wool. The teacher does the reaction in a fume cupboard. Okay. And we can see the experiment what teacher used and suggest why the teacher does the reaction in a fume cupboard. Okay. The reason is chlorine. The chlorine is a toxic gas. In addition, there is a fact that one country, I don't remember, used a chlorine gas in First World War, and it's a fact. And the second one is the product of the reaction between iron and chlorine is iron 3 chloride. Okay, the ions in iron 3 chloride are Fe plus 3 and Cl minus ions. Use the information to give the chemical equation for this reaction. Okay. First, we put only the signs of the elements. Okay. We know that the chlorine came in molecule form, and iron can be in atom form. Okay, and for balancing this, we'll put 2 before iron and 3 before chlorine molecule, and put 2 before the iron chloride molecule compound. And the fourth one, this question is about ammonium chloride. Give the formula of ammonium ion. We know that ammonia is NH3, like an ammonia is NH3, and the ammonium is NH4. Most of the students mix ammonia and ammonium, like they don't know the exact one. For knowing, ammonia is NH3, ammonium is NH4, and both and ammonia makes positive charge. Means this is the formula of the ammonium ion. Okay, describe a test to show that ammonium chloride contains ammonium ions. For testing it, we add sodium hydroxide solution to it, and the ammonia gas produces. After that, we should test the gas with damp red litmus paper. If it should turns into blue if there are ammonium ions. Okay. The next one. The equation shows the thermal decomposition of ammonium chloride. This is the equation, and state what this symbol indicates about this reaction. We know that this sign means the reaction is reversible. The diagram shows the information about ammonium chloride in a glass tube. Control, we can see the experiment. Explain how the mean speed of ammonium molecules compares with the mean speed of hydrogen chloride molecules. Okay. By seeing the ammonium chloride solution, ammonium chloride gas producing, we can easily say that the molecules of ammonia move faster because the ammonium chloride forms nearer to the hydrochloric acid. Okay, because the distance between these and these differs much. That's why I give these reasons. And the second part, gas particles travel very quickly. Give 2 reasons why it takes several minutes for the ammonium chloride to form. Okay, the reasons are: the gas particles move in random directions, like a Brownian motion. And the second reason is gas particles collide with air or other particles that are in air. Okay. And the fifth one, a teacher used the reaction between phosphorus and oxygen to calculate the percentage of oxygen in the air. She used these apparatus and excess phosphorus. The volume of gas in the tube decreases as the phosphorus reacts with the oxygen. The teacher measures the volume of gas in the tube at 1-minute intervals. The table shows the teacher's results. Okay, these are the results. State how the results show that all oxygen has reacted. We can see that results in fifth, 6th, and the 7th minutes are the same. It means that the all oxygen molecules are already reacted, and we can write results are the same at the end. Okay, the B one. Give one change to this experiment that would make the result more accurate. The student can use a glass tube with smaller divisions, like an not with the not scale with 0.5 centimeter cube, but should use 1 millimeter cube 1. Okay. Use the results to calculate the percentage of oxygen in the air. Give your answer to one decimal place. Okay. By subtracting 37 from 48.5, we can easily know that the volume of oxygen is equals to 11.5 centimeter cube. And for finding the percentage of the oxygen in the air, we will use 11.5 divided by 48.5, and it will be 0.237, and for finding the percentage, we will multiply it by 100, and the percentage will be 23.7, and the final answer is 27.7. And 6.1. The reaction between magnesium and copper to sulfate solution is exothermic, means it produces heat outside or heat to the surrounding. This apparatus is used to measure the temperature increase when excess magnesium is added to 100 centimeter cube of copper to sulfate solution. Okay, you can see the experiment here. State why a reaction occurs when magnesium is added to copper to sulfate solution. Because magnesium is more reactive than copper. It is the biggest reason. Okay, complete the word equation for this reaction. It will be magnesium sulfate plus copper. Magnesium takes the sulfate ions because it's more reactive than copper, and the copper will copper takes an electrons, and the copper will produce. The temperature at the start of the reaction is 20.2 Celsius. The maximum temperature recorded is 56.3 Celsius, and calculate the heat energy change in joules for the reaction. Okay, first of all, we should write the formula. Q equals to mc and delta T. Means that Q is equals to the heat energy and M is equals to the mass, C is equals to specific heat capacity, and the T, delta T, means that the temperature change. Okay. First, we will find the temperature change by subtracting 20.2 by 56.3. and it's equals to 36.1, and mass of the solution equals to mass of the solution 100 centimeter cube. Okay, 100 multiplied by the specific heat capacity is 4.2 joules per gram per Celsius, and the temperature change is equals to 36.1, and the total energy that came out is equals to 15,162 joules. And the final answer is also like this, 15,162 joules. And explain why it's better to use a polystyrene cup rather than a glass beaker in this experiment. We know that glass beaker is conductor, while polystyrene is an insulator. And if it's insulator, it reduces heat loss into surrounding. That's why the temperature rise will be closer to true value. The less temperature will less energy goes out. And the C part, the reaction between zinc and copper to sulfate solution is also exothermic, means it produces heat to the surrounding. A mass of 0.5 of zinc is reacted with an excess of copper to sulfate solution. The heat energy change is equal to 1.67 kilojoules. Calculate the molar enthalpy change in kJ, like kilojoule per mole. Okay, include a sign in your answer. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. To finding this, first we should find the mole of the zinc that have been used, and for finding this we will divide the mass into the molar mass of the zinc. 0.5 divided by the molar mass of the zinc is equal to 65, and by this we can easily know that the mole that have been used in the mole of the zinc that have been used in this experiment is equal to 0.00769. okay, and for finding the molar enthalpy change, we should divide the heat energy change to the mole. Okay, the heat energy change is equal to 1.67 kilojoules, and we should divide it into the mole, that is 0.00769, and it's equals to 217 kilojoules per mole, and our final answer should be minus 217 kilojoules per mole, because it is exothermic reaction. In exothermic reaction, the energy of the product should be lower than the energy of the reactants, and the reason is the most of energy goes to the surrounding. Exothermic reaction sign should be minus in like an heat change, and in endothermic reaction should be plus because it takes energy from the surrounding. Okay, that's why we write minus 217 kilojoule per mole. Okay, the next one. The ionic equation for the reaction between zinc and copper sulfate is shown here. Explain why this is a redox reaction. The first reason is the zinc is oxidized and copper like zinc ions is oxidized and copper ions is reduced, and then if the zinc ions is oxidized, it means that zinc loses electrons while copper ions gains electron. Here also the zinc gives electrons and produces +2 charge and positive and made positive ion, while the copper gains electrons and make an atom of copper. And the seventh, a student investigates the reaction between sodium hydroxide solution and hydrochloric acid. He used this method. Step 1. Add 50 cm³ of dilute hydrochloric acid to a conical flask. Step 2. Add a 5 cm³ portion of sodium hydroxide solution to the conical flask. Step 3. Test the pH of the mixture using both universal indicator paper and the pH meter. Okay, the students repeat step 2 and step 3 until a total of 50 cm³ of sodium hydroxide solution has been added. And the questions are: the first one, state the piece of apparatus that should be used to measure 50 cm³ of hydrochloric acid. Usually, for measuring the hydrochloric acid, we use bread. And the second one, name the type of reaction that occurs between hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. If the acid and the alkali reacts, the reaction called neutralization because there is product called water, H2O. Okay. For the ones who don't know what bread is, and this is the bread. Okay, we'll continue. Graph 1 shows how the pH of the mixture changes as the sodium hydroxide solution is added. Okay. And determine the pH after 40 cm³ of sodium hydroxide solution has been added. Okay, 40 here, this part. Okay 12.4. the answer is 12.4 because we draw a line here to here and in y-axis, in x-axis also, and the answer is 12.4. Suggest the color of the universal indicator in the paper when these volumes of water of sodium hydroxide solution has been added. First, it was acidic, pH was low, it means it was acidic, and the pH after this is alkali. That's why first it was red, and after it should turn into blue. Okay, give the formula of the ion that causes sodium hydroxide to be alkaline. Okay, sodium hydroxide, we know that OH ions, if there is more concentration of the OH ions, OH minus ions, it means that it's more alkaline. That's why it is OH minus ions. And C1. Another student investigates how the temperature changes when the sodium hydroxide solution is added to the hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid and the sodium hydroxide solution are at the same temperature at the start of the investigation. The student records the temperature of the mixture after adding each 5 cm³ portion of sodium hydroxide solution. Graph 2 shows her results. Okay, we can see the graph. Explain the shape of the graph 2. By seeing the graph, we can easily know that the reaction is exothermic. Therefore, the temperature rises. But after adding 25 cm³ of sodium hydroxide, the reaction is complete. So it means adding more sodium hydroxide cools the mixture down. Okay, and the 8th one. The diagram shows the arrangement of the electrons in an atom of calcium and in atom of fluorine. Okay, describe in terms of electrons what happens when calcium reacts with fluorine to form the ionic compound calcium chloride, CaCl2. Okay. If the reaction occurs, we know that calcium is metal. That's why it loses electrons, and chlorine is non-metal. That's why it takes electrons, it gains electrons. Two atoms of two atoms of fluorine each gain 1 electron. Okay, and the B1 is describe tests to show that an aqueous solution of calcium chloride contains calcium and chloride ions. Okay. The test for calcium ions is flame test. We should do flame test for calcium ions, and it should be orange red flame flower if there is calcium ion. And the test for chloride ions is adding silver nitrate. There should form white precipitate. Okay, next one. See, solid calcium chloride does not conduct electricity. Aqueous solutions of calcium chloride do not conduct. They do conduct electricity. A student used this method to investigate how the conductivity of a solution changes when the calcium chloride is dissolved in pure water. Step 1. Add 100 cm cube of pure water to a beaker. Step 2. Add 1 spatula of solid calcium chloride to the beaker. Step 3. Stir the solution. Step 4. Measure the conductivity of the solution. Step 5. Repeat until 9 spatulas of solid calcium chloride have been added. And we can see information in table. And keep it. Plot the results on the grid and draw 2 straight lines of best fit. Ignore the anomalous result. Okay, we'll draw. Okay. 0 0 here, one of this is here, and the next one is 1 6 1 6 6 is here, and 2 12 it's here, and 3 12. Okay, I think this one is anomalous, and the 4 is 24, and the fifth one is 30. The next one is 36, and 36, 4 36s. Okay, and okay. Like that, and like that. Okay, and the next one, state the trend shown. State the trend shown on the graph for the first 6 spatulas of calcium chloride. Okay. The conductivity is directly proportional to the number of spatulas of calcium chloride added. Okay, suggest an error the student could have made to cause the anomalous result. The student took the reading before adding the calcium chloride. Okay, describe another way to make solid calcium chloride conduct electricity. Okay, first we should heat the calcium chloride until molten, because we will do we will give electricity and we will do electrolysis. That's why we need molten one. Okay, the next one, empirical. This question is about alkenes and polymers. Okay, ethene C2H4 can be represented by different types of formula. Complete the table by giving the missing information. Okay, molecular formula is C2H4. Empirical formula is the smallest whole number ratio of an atoms, and the smallest ratio is CH2. And the general formula, okay, and for general formula for alkenes is CH2. Okay, ethene is a member of the homologous series of alkenes. All members of the same homologous series have the same general formula. Give 2 other characteristics of a homologous series. Okay, the first one is similar chemical characteristics, and the second one is same functional group. Okay. Ethene is used to make polyethylene. State the type of polymerization used to form polyethylene. Okay, the type of polymerization is addition. And the next one, complete the equation for the polymerization of ethene. Okay, H. Okay. And next one, polyethylene is used to make plastic bags. Cornstarch from plants can also be used to make polymers for plastic bags. The table gives some information about polyethylene and polymers made from cornstarch. Okay, there is table, and we should use the information in the table and your knowledge to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of using polyethylene to make plastic bags. Okay. The first one is polyethylene is cheaper than polymers from cornstarch. And next one is polyethylene is stronger than polymers from cornstarch. Polyethylene frees up land to grow food crops, and polyethylene comes from like an cracking fractions, like an or cracking the oil, or like that, like a fractional. Totally, it came from cracking. And next one is polyethylene is non-renewable. Okay, and the last one is polyethylene is non-biodegradable, means it can't digest by the bacteria, the natural bacteria. It needs a lot time to being combust, it needs around 500 years. The diagram shows the repeat unit of another polymer. Draw the display formula of the monomer used to make this polymer. Okay. In monomers, there is double bond. Okay, and this is the formula, display formula. Okay, the next question is, this is a question about carbon and its compounds. Draw a dot and cross diagram to show the outer shell electrons in a molecule of carbon dioxide. Okay. It's the outer shell of the carbon, and there are 2 oxygen atoms. O. And you know that carbon have 4 outermost shell electrons. For me, it's better to display the atom of the electrons of the carbon with cross, and the electrons of the oxygen with dot. Okay. Okay, and here and here also. Okay, and that's all. The atoms in carbon dioxide are held together by covalent bonds. Describe the forces of attraction in a covalent bond. Okay. In covalent bond, the atoms share their electrons and made shared pair electrons, and they attracted to two nuclei. The diagram shows three different structures of carbon. Explain why graphite conducts electricity. Okay. Graphite have delocalized electrons that can move or flow throughout the layers. These layers, I mean, here and here. Okay. Explain why diamond has a much higher melting point than C60 fluorine. Refer to the structure and bonding in your answer. Okay. The first reason is diamond have giant covalent structure. C60 have simple molecular structure. For breaking bonds of diamond, we need a lot of energy. Breaking covalent bonds, okay? And for breaking bonds in C60 fluorine, intermolecular forces of attraction are overcome. And that's 5 marks. This question is about the reduction of metal oxides. Solid oxides of copper can be reduced by acting them with methane gas. Complete the equation for the reaction between copper 2 oxide and methane. Include state symbols. Okay. For copper oxide and 4 copper produces one carbon dioxide and 2 water. Okay. Copper oxide is solid, methane is gas, copper is solid, carbon dioxide is gas, and water can be in both form, gas or liquid, and I chose the liquid form. Okay. Teacher used this apparatus to demonstrate the reaction between a different oxide of copper and methane. Okay. The teacher heats the oxide of copper until the reaction is complete. The table shows the teacher's results. Okay, we can see the results from table. Use the teacher's result to show that the empirical formula of oxide of copper is copper 2 oxide. 2 coppers and 1 oxygen atom. Okay. First, we calculate the mass of each. For finding the mass of copper, we will subtract 15.05 by 18.23. And the mass of copper is equals to 0.18. Okay, for finding the mass of oxygen, we will subtract 18.23 from 18.63, and the mass of the oxygen is equal to 0.4 or 0.40 grams. And we should find the moles of each. The molar mass of the copper is equals to 63.5. That's why we will divide 3.18 to 63.5. It's equals to 0.05 mole, and the oxygen 0.4 divided by 16, which is the molar mass of the oxygen. Okay, now the ratios are 1 to 2. That's why we will, and the ratio is 2 to 1, and it will be copper to oxide. The teacher wears safety glasses and a lab coat during the demonstration. Give one other safety precaution that she should take. And the reaction for reaction we need safety screen. Okay. And the C part, iron forms when iron 3 oxide is heated with carbon. The equation for the reaction is this one. Iron 3 oxide plus 3 carbons, 2 iron atoms, and 3 carbon dioxide molecules compounds produced, and state how the equation shows that iron 3 oxide is reduced. We can easily see that iron 3 oxide loses oxygen. Stereo carbon monoxide should not be released into atmosphere because carbon dioxide is poisonous gas. Carbon monoxide, sorry. Calculate the maximum mass in tons of iron and iron that can be produced when 30 tons of iron 3 oxide are reacted with an excess of carbon. Okay. First of all, we should find the molar mass of the iron 3 oxide. Okay, 2 multiplied by the molar mass of iron, and you will see it from periodic table. It is 56. Okay, 2 multiplied by 56 plus the molar mass of oxygen is equals to 16. That's why 3 multiplied by 16. And it's equals to 160 grams, like a gram per mole. And we will find how many moles of iron 3 oxide is in 30 tons of iron 3 oxide. And there are 187,500 moles of iron 3 oxide, and we will multiply it by 2, and it equals to 375,000 because of ratio I multiply by 2, and I will multiply the mole 375,000 to 56 to find the mass of the iron that's produced. Okay, the answer is 21. And the last question is a mixture of 25,000 mole of iron trioxide and 840,000 gram of carbon is heated. Use this equation to show that the iron trioxide is in excess. Okay. First of all, we should find the mole of carbon. And there is 70,000 moles of carbon. 70,000 divided by 3 is equals to 23, like 23,333.3333, and for in fraction we can use 1 out of 3 tons, like a mole of iron trioxide needed. But we have 25,000 mole of iron trioxide. The reason why I divided 3 because of the ratio, and this is the end of the paper. Thank you for your attention. If there were any mistakes about my spelling or about my speech, about my understanding about my teaching, sorry for that. Thank you.